So there's two equations or formulae that you need to learn for circles. The first one is for area. And now that is pi times your radius squared. And a radius is a line from the centre, or origin for the proper word, to the edge of the circle. Now, once you know what length that is, you can calculate the rest of the area. So it's very, very important that you follow BIDMAS. So let's write BIDMAS out. Now, what BIDMAS does is it allows you to do your calculation in the correct order. So, let's check. Do we have any brackets? No, we don't. Do we have an index? Yes, we do. R squared is a form of index. I'll just write that down for you. So that means that you must complete R squared before you do your multiply by pi. So we know that our radius equals 7. So we're going to calculate 7 squared, which equals 49. Now we have 49, we're going to multiply it by pi. How you write this is 49 pi, and this is written in terms of pi is the correct technique for this. Why this is so important is because pi as a number is actually infinite. It's 3.1415, and then it continues and never stops. Whenever we use a calculator, we usually only use pi to about 8 or 9 figures. So actually we're losing a great deal of accuracy off of it. And as soon as we lose accuracy, we don't get as accurate an answer for our area as we could do. Writing something in terms of pi uses the symbol of pi rather than 3.14. So actually this number here signifies the whole of pi as a number in its infinite size, compared to what we would have got if we'd used pi as 3.1415 and so on. The other thing that you need to remember is, because we've calculated an area, we need to show that we use square units. So if they don't give you what units you're working in, always write units squared at the end to show that you understand you're working with an area rather than a length or a volume. So just to recap, make sure you follow BIDMAS. The rule you need to use is area equals pi r squared. Calculate your index first and then multiply by pi. The next one we need to be able to calculate is our circumference. This is a good word to learn to spell because you do get marks for spelling. And how you calculate circumference is pi times diameter. So a diameter is a line that goes from edge to edge of a circle going through the central origin. So if, for instance, the circumference is 8, you just need to times 8 by pi, and this is how we write it. You wouldn't write pi 8 because that's ungrammatical. You need to put brackets around it to show that you understand it needs to be written more grammatically, and then pull your number to the front. Now, the special name for this number at the front is called a coefficient. And a coefficient tells you how many times you have, how many lots of a constant you have. So for instance, this coefficient 8 here tells me that I have 8 lots of pi. And this signifies pi as an entire entity, as an entire number of every single number that is in the list of pi. If you were typing this into a calculator, you would just do 8 times your pi button, or 8 times 3.14. Sometimes in calculator papers, they do actually tell you how accurate to write pi to. So they will give you pi to perhaps two decimal places, or maybe even up to 4, which is that. So just to recap, your circumference of a circle is pi times its diameter, which is the length from edge to edge of the circle going through the centre. Now, I know a lot of people find it hard to remember the equation for both of them. So one mnemonic you can learn is cherry pie is delicious, apple pies are too. Now, why this works is because the C stands for circumference, pi stands for pi the symbol, and D, delicious, stands for diameter. So your circumference is pi times your diameter, but your area is pi r2, which means r squared. So that's one way to remember it. The other thing you can do is YouTube the circle song and listen to it until you learn the chorus off by heart. I have actually added the circle song into the playlist on circles to help you. The other way you can remember it is to learn the word pizza, because pi times z times z equals area, and what the z represents is your radius. Now, if you can remember, the area is pi times your radius, which is the same as z times itself, and that's for area, then you should be able to remember that circumference is the other one, in case you get the two confused.